Music right on cue. Hello everyone, welcome to City Skylines. Today we're going to be building a city from scratch. I'm going to give you some tips, pointers, tricks, whatever it is you may be looking for. Also going to help you with traffic, setting up some infrastructure, some ways to manage a city and their bus lines, metro, whatever else we can find. First, I'm going to go over the mods we're using. 81 tiles, ambient sound tuner, American traffic lights. I'm not going to read them out to you. You can take a look and see what we're using. The only one that's really game-changing is the, let's see, the no death care. You can use death care. I just prefer not to because realistically it's not a city's problem if your person dies or not. It's also because offices and businesses have issues with this, so we just turned it off. There are some other mods that could be used to break the game, but we're not going to do that. Let's see, what city should we use today? I think we're going to go with the winter scheme, or winter theme. Let's do the hills, winter hills. And what should we name it? Why not Melville? Because that's the person who just chatted in our chat. Those of you who are wondering, the music in the background is from SimCity 4. If you think it's familiar. This is what I grew up on. You guys had a good day, good stream. Excuse me. If you guys have had a good day so far, or you're having a good 2025 so far, make sure to leave a comment down below. Like, share, the whole 9 yards. Helps the channel grow. 2025 is gonna be a great year, I think, for everyone. So, cheers. Taking a good minute to load, isn't it? I know I could start the game actually already in, so you guys don't gotta sit here and wait for me for a loading screen, but I like to show you guys what mods I'm using so that way you can actually see and know that I'm not cheating. All right, we are in. Let's take a look at the area around. Highway right there, railroad right there. One single highway. At least there's 2 railroads, I guess. That's a weird looking highway, isn't it? Oh, we have to start in a lake. Yikes. Okay. This is going to be a little bit tricky. Especially not knowing where the resources are. But I think we're going to make it work. So we get a little bit elevation down here. It's a steep drop, isn't it? This is going to be tough. This is going to be a tough start. I think we can manage. So first and foremost, we got to figure out where we want to put our industrial and residential. I think I'm going to put the industrial down here. And then the residential up on the hill. Actually, no. I don't know. First thing you got to do when starting your city is figure out where you're going to put your stuff. So obviously, we want a bus route to be as close to the interstate as possible because we're definitely not going to be building everything up here. I, for one, like to expand in different directions, so we might even start a city down, or a little area down here, maybe even up there. This highway is not helping out, is it? I think we're going to start a different town, because that start is not the most ideal. We're going to do this. We're going to do the plains. No, we're not, because we can't change the theme once we're in game. Let's do this one. That one just wasn't cutting it. A single... it's a bad sign when you start out with one highway, right? One interstate. And then to top it off, you got difficult elevation, difficult terrain, and really when you start a city, you want to look for some flat spots. You want to look for the flattest area because that's where your town's going to be. You're going to utilize the flat area. Of course, you have to start out with residential, with low density, but then you go into high density. You don't want to start out on elevation because it just creates such a difficult space. If I was a city planner, I wouldn't want to be starting on the top of the hill either. I'd want to reserve that maybe for further development for low density or just great views, but I would start out in the bottom. I don't know what that sound effect is and why I can't change it. I guess in the future I'll make sure that we have the map picked out, ready to go. We were supposed to have a city already that we were going to be city doctor for today, but the owner of said city, well, he's missing currently. Not missing, but he's just away working or schooling. I forget what she said. This is taking forever to load, isn't it? I think the number is 1,500 assets, modded assets it has to load. We're gonna run some problem solving here. Let's see if we can figure out why it's not working. Well, this is definitely not how I wanted to start the stream, but what can you do? Maybe I should do a stream for SimCity 4. Hearing the soundtrack every time I play this game just is so awesome. It's really nostalgic. Alright, I think we're good now. Why isn't it capturing? There we go. Alright, we are back. New map this time. Again, just a single highway. I don't understand what this game has against multiple highways, but at least the terrain is a lot more flat, not more reasonable. I think building a city here is actually a good idea. Okay, now welcome to actual tips and tricks on how to start your city. First thing I'm doing is just kind of looking around, seeing what kind of terrain we got, what it looks like. For the most part, it's flat. A little bit of hills up there. We could utilize that to our advantage. But first and foremost, we only have $70,000. It's not a lot of money, so we're going to use this to the fullest. First thing we're going to do is just kind of place down that road there so that way we can unlock all the assets that we need. And then we're going to place down our avenue. Let's try to get it as straight as possible. We can't do the highway ramps yet, so we got to use the one-way roads. Come back for this, and we're good. Now, traffic will be an issue on a road like this, especially if we have a bunch of roads branching off. However, what we can do is manage it, at least for the most part. So, instead of having our industrial down here, where they have to go through the entire city, we're just going to kind of branch it off right here. Yep, right towards this area. And I'll show you why this way. It's because when we build our grid, which is just a simple 400 by 600. Whoops. That's not 600. We can then have a one-way, taking people out instead of having to go through here. This will also give us the chance to build our city down here like we want. Without things being complicated. So we're just going to kind of build a very simple grid, 400 by 600, using the price. So it is currently cost 600 to build this. That is my line. Just kind of copying and pasting it. We'll do the same on the other side. 400, 600. Now, in an attempt to save money, we're not going to use a whole ton of it. Why is that like that? Is it not straight? I don't know why that's doing that. Why? It's 400. When the grid does stupid stuff like that, sometimes there's just nothing you can do. I don't... I don't understand why it's not working. There's not even any terrain here. Well, damn. Nothing much you can do in that scenario, I guess. We're going to start with zoning some industrial areas, residential areas. Now, this is important when it comes to gridding. Hello, Dami. When it comes to gridding, I don't want to fill in the entire grid. I just want to do a little bit. So, we're going to use this side because this side's messed up. Doing 3 all the way down the main road. And that's it. We can even do 3 more here. And even here. Because that allows us to put in some more residential like that. Now, because we don't have much of a choice here, we're going to have to do 4 there. It looks like we're going to have to do 4 all the way down, aren't we? But then the rest we can do residential. That's a lot of space. That could be a couple extra homes, but it is what it is. It's not even no elevation or nothing. I don't understand that. And this is important too when it comes to traffic. This is actually done through vanilla. You want to click on the name of this road, Cooper Avenue. We're going to double check that the road is only there, only this little strip. We don't want to make any other strips. And then we're going to click this button right here, apply yield signs to connecting roads. So instead of having traffic lights all down this main road, it'll be yield signs for people that are turning onto it. This will be our priority road, and anybody who's on it will get the right of way. We can even double check this with the TMPE and make sure that the side streets are giving way, and this orange square right here means that they are they have the right of way. And then, as you can see, otherwise it will look kind of like this every single intersection. So we're going to do this again. Make sure that the road is only where it needs to be. Then we'll click that. And then in an effort to reduce traffic, we're going to make sure that we make this correct. And then up here it shouldn't matter. Now we need services. Obviously we need some drinking water for our people. So we're going to put that right here. We need sewage. Instead of using the drain pipe, I'm just going to use the inland water treatment. This came with the Sunset Harbor DLC. Put that right there. We're going to begin our grid first, and then we'll... Well, that didn't work. I don't... Okay. That's really annoying me. We're going to fix that. Much better. So we have our sewage, but now we need power. So we're just going to drop in a little coal power plant right up here. We're going to make sure that it is facing the road like this. Not like this, like this. And this is because whenever... No, wait, I have that backwards. Like this. So, in City Skylines, trucks always turn right. So the fuel for this will be exported via the highway. In order for them to be able to get into this power plant, they need to turn right into the facility. So instead of having them come all the way up here and turn right into the facility, we're just going to have them make the left turn right here, and then they can turn right with instant access without having to go through any extra barriers. So we're going to run a power line down here just to make sure that our water treatment plant gets access to electricity. We're going to run this across the street like that. We're going to run this down here along the edge over here and then connect up that. So now everywhere in the city has access to electricity. And the zones will spread the power like a disease. So now we can click play. As you can see, we have $10,000 left over, which will be enough because we will go in the red for quite a little bit. We're going to speed things up too. And as you can see, homes are starting to fill in rather quickly. And with the setup like this, the city's demand will take care of itself. You'll have high residential demand but no other demand, but as residents move in, they're going to want businesses, and businesses are going to start moving in, as you can see here, along the blue. And then as businesses start to build, well, they need industries to create their goods, so they will automatically start generating over here, away from where you want, away from the people. And right on cue, they all start coming in. Now this will go until you reach the next achievement, which is Little Hamlet, which will give you elementary schools, medical clinics, waste management, and maybe some other assets such as a snow dump. Which I'm new to the Snowfall DLC, so I'm still learning about that myself. But as long as you have open space, your demands will stay low and they will never increase until you run out. And we get to observe a pretty sunset on this town that's starting out. Hey Dami, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Tomorrow's stream is going to be iRacing, and then Saturday's stream is the 4th. Am I correct? Yeah, Saturday's stream will be the 4th. That'll be the first ever stream of our new 5M. So make sure to tune into that. I'll post them the same way you found this one. As you can see, we are now in the green. One thing I forgot to do is mess with our budget. So, as you can see, our water and sewage availability is way higher than it's needed. If it starts to get yellow, then it'll start to cause some issues, but if you're in the green, you're good. So, we want it to turn down the budget. That's 76. And you can see the bar will drop. Or, well, you saw this drop, but we're still way higher than where we need, so we're going to drop it even more. And what this allows us to do is make a little bit more money that way. Oh, and as you can see, we got our first achievement. And that gives us a little boost of money, around $10,000. Or $20,000, excuse me. So the first thing we're going to put in is garbage, because they will throw a fit until you get the garbage. In fact, businesses will close if you don't have enough garbage. Management. Now, unfortunately, I can't put down either of those, but buildings or businesses or homes or everything will not go abandoned if you do not have education or medical clinics. Now, if your medical is terrible, then yes, they will, but if you're like me, you're kind of starting out, it's not going to be the biggest difference in the world. We're going to put down the medical clinic like that. And then the next thing we need is education, which it can be the last thing that you wait on. And it is okay. And electricity too, we can do the same with the electricity as far as our budget. You see how we have twice as much production as we have consumption? So we're just going to come in here, we're going to kind of drop it down to about 80%. It drops it down from 40 megawatts down to 25 megawatts, which is a little bit lower than we need, actually. But it allows us to make a little bit more money over time. We're going to speed it up and generate a little bit of money. And then when we're ready to expand, we will put in, or raise that budget. Look at the aurora back there. That's awesome. Sunset on this side, or sunrise on this side. See the highway going off. That's so cool. Now, long term, this may not work for everyone, but long term, this will not be here. We're going to be moving this area, the industrial area, into a more dedicated area. But obviously, we only have a little bit of space to start with, so there's only so much that we can do. As you can see, we're starting to see some issues with power, and because of that, our water pump no longer has power, so we have water issues as well. So we're going to raise the power back up to 100 as it was, and that'll resolve our issues as it goes back up to 40. Now, as you can tell, we have a lot of residential demand and no space for residential. So we are going to slow down time because we can control time. And we're going to continue to extend our grid. Keeping elevation in mind. Just because that's what you want to do. It makes for a prettier city when you have it set up realistically looking. And what real city planners do is they just kind of let the elevation determine their city. And as you can see, we're broke. So we could take a loan, but we're making about $1,000 a week. I might just let time speed up a little bit so we can generate the money we need. We just need another 1,000. Like that. Now, before we can expand, we need to extend these pipes. Otherwise, we will have homes without water. And that is exactly what we needed. And it's still doing this stupid thing. Why is it doing that? What it's supposed to do is look like this. All these grids right here. These pretty looking grids. So you, again, just go 3 up, all the way throughout. And then the rest of it can be residential. Because it's doing this stupid thing, we're going to have to kind of work around it. So now we have more space for homes. Still don't have an education center down, but at least we have a hospital, waste management, water services, everything like that. Let's see what kind of businesses we have. We have a Domino's, a Sonic, a Penny's, not a Denny's, but a Penny's. We got a Robin's, an off-brand Dairy Queen, another Penny's, BP gas station, a Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, a Burger King, and another Burger King. And then some small local shops all up and down as well. It's looking very good. And as you can tell already, almost out of space, and our residential demand is still really high, which means we didn't extend it fast enough, or far enough, I mean. So we're going to extend the grid outwards this way this time. Again, just keeping elevation in mind. Oops. Nope, we don't have enough money. Double checking we have water. We don't. So we're going to need to add a water pipe up and down this road as well. The good news is we are making a good amount of money each week. Perfect. And now we can add some more residential homes because there's no main artery along these grids that we just put down. We don't need to worry about shops going in. We could just put nothing but homes. And as you could tell up here, or well, down here, we have medium demand for industries or offices. Now, because we don't have offices, we're forced to use industries. So we need to extend our grid up here a little bit. And we can delete this. Oops. We upgraded. So now we have police departments, fire departments, a bunch of park stuff. Looking good. So we can put down some more industries here. Put some there. I don't plan on extending past that. We could even put a little bit here and here. Because again, this whole area will not be existent in the near future. Make sure they have water. They do. Good. Now, when starting out, it's not going to look pretty. It's going to look really ugly. It's going to be very tough to maintain. It may even get a little bit frustrating. Just know that as long as you're keeping it profitable, you're doing just fine. And if you really want, what I would do is, if you're in this position, right, the city, it's functioning, all your demands are met, you just reached the second achievement of Worthy Village, just let the game run. Put it on fast forward and let the game run until you're at like 100 grand. That'll help you a ton. It's all about making money, at least for the start. Because then once you've made enough money, you can get yourself up to about 6,000 population, I think it is. 7,500. And once you reach 7,500 population, you're golden. Because with the creation of high-rises means you can have some really nice-looking towns, very nice-looking areas. By then, you've unlocked almost everything anyways. Ooh, we need a fire station bad. So we're going to put a fire station down. We're going to give in to those demands. And you can see fire trucks all over, rushing to the aid to put out these nasty fires. We also need a police station in here somewhere, so we're just going to put that down. We have no power again. Okay. So we are unable to put down a police station because we need power. And we don't have enough money for power. Which means we need a loan. Yay. Now, it's not wise to take the largest loan because if you go bankrupt or if you start going in the red with the smallest loan, you need a bailout of some kind. So what we need to do... Why is that not working? Anyways, we need more power. So we're going to put down another coal power plant right up here. Again, not an ideal space. Not really where I want it to go. But it'll have to do. And now we don't have enough water. And that is because... our budget is too low. So now we come over to our budget, raise our budget up to 75. Should be more than enough. Yep. And now the people are complaining about crime. So now we can finally put down our police station like that. And just for cosmetics, we're going to change the police car to be... We should do the... You know what? Just for the hell of it, we're going to make it the striker. The military striker. There we go. Look at that. That's our police car. Look at that. That's amazing. Just imagine you're just, you know, walking to work. Next thing you know, you see this cruising down the road. Look at this. You really think you're gonna run from this? That's hilarious. That is amazing. So this emblem up here means there's not enough workers. And what that typically is a telltale sign of is that you have too much demand for residential. So we need to come in here and make some more residential areas. Now we are getting very close to this terrain here. In an attempt to... Is that a wolf or a deer? A moose. In an attempt to preserve the land value up here, we're going to be very careful with how we do it. obviously we don't want to continue our grid all the way up until the edge, because otherwise you'll have some very nasty looking buildings on the side of the hill. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here with our measly $7,000 and kind of be budgetous with it. We're going to get this gravel road. And we're going to create our grid, just as we've been doing. 200 by 300 this time because it's smaller. Or, well, costs less. And we're going to just kind of see what works, what doesn't work. And as you can see, some of the terrain there doesn't look very great. So we are actually not going to build there. We might not even build this far. Yeah. So we're just going to go that far. What about up here? It's a little bit bumpy. Because we don't have any terrain tools to our arsenal yet. We can't really do much about it. I think it's going to be okay, though. It's not too steep. We're not going to zone out here. We're just going to zone inside. I think that'll be okay. And then over here we'll be fine. Yeah, that's fine. And then we can come over here and with our actual roads rebuild them. Now, if you really want to be technical, what you can do is build all those roads, or build all your roads with just the dirt road, at least for the start. It'll really help you save money because it costs a little bit less too. It costs the dirt run 20 cents per tile. This one's it's 40 per cell I mean. So it's about twice as much of upkeep. It does save money. It doesn't really affect anything, to be quite honest. Looks like there's a road that didn't get marked as priority. Now what we're going to do is fill in these here. We don't have water. We do have water, at least for these. And then sometimes, every now and again, you just kind of want to put in a little, commercial zone there. Oops. Every now and again, just to kind of give people out here a little bit more to go to, a little bit more reason to stay within their area instead of coming down the main road, down to the main road and congesting it even further. Yep, I know you're complaining about not having enough people. It's okay. No, we should have enough for... We don't have enough for that yet. Oh, just barely. There we go. And then we'll fill the rest in with residential. Putting another small mom and pop shop right here. We'll fast forward it. Again, we still do not have a school yet, which is really upsetting, but we're almost at the next achievement, which will give us a little bit more money and give us access to parks. Just mainly parks. No problem, Dami. Thanks for watching, man. Yep, parks area, pedestrian areas, those are always great too. But now we get this, our natural resources tab, and we can see where the natural resources are around our town. Maybe not with that button, but we can still see. The green is trees, yellow is farmland, blue is ore, and black is oil. And it doesn't look very rich in any of them. Get a bit of trees out there. We're already building on top of farmland, so that's not really anything we can do there. A little bit of oil out there. There's really nothing out here, is there? But you know what we can do? We can paint this district over here. This little industrial area. Just paint it like that. And with the industry specialization tool, we can now choose what we want these businesses to be. So right now, each building generates about 14 to 16 workers, depending on the size of it, you know, big or small, but they all produce pollution, all of them. And the pollution is pretty damn bad. So what we could do instead is designate this as a farming district. Now, all these buildings, all these industries here, they will stay, but if we delete this one, when it rebuilds, it'll be a farming building. As you can see here, it's now farming. Same number of workers, maybe a little bit more. But it's all farm. In fact, I think this is going to be a corn storage or grain storage thing. And what we're going to do is we're just going to delete all these buildings that are in here. Now it'll really hurt our pollution or our economy. It'll really hurt the number of jobs. But it will only be temporary, and it'll definitely affect our income, but it will only be temporary because very quickly the demand for industry is going to shoot through the roof again, and then it'll drop right back down because there will be these things rebuilding. The pollution will be lesser. The traffic might even be a little bit less. But the most important part is that the land value in the surrounding areas will then increase. Plus, we're on fertile ground anyways, so that'll really help. Now, obviously, we plan on moving these eventually. But as you can see, right now we have a bunch of commercial demand without any demand for residential or industries. So we're going to have to find a place for commercial. And I'm thinking right here, just right in the middle of all this. Now, before it grows in dramatically quick, I want to put down some paths. Just to encourage foot traffic a little bit. Because when people walk to work instead of drive, that's one less car on the street. I have no idea why this music is so creepy right now. Now, traffic is one thing that you really won't start experiencing until you have about 20,000 people in your town. So if you don't start planning for that now, you will start to feel it at that point. So a couple ways you can plan for it, obviously, is, public transit. However, we don't quite have access to that yet. The cheapest way are pedestrian footpaths, pavement paths, or really any path. It'll really it'll really decrease your traffic, believe it or not, especially if you have them set up to going from your residential to your industrial. People need to go from home to work and back. The safest way to do that, the quickest way to do that is on foot. But if it's too far, they won't work, or they won't drive, they will walk. Or I'm sorry, I got that wrong. If it's too far, they won't drive. They won't walk, they will drive. So, as you can see here, these two are walking to work because it is just quicker. It's close enough to where they can. And even though it's only two, it's two less cars on the road. we are going to skip this song. That was unnecessarily sketchy. Now, this is the best song in SimCity 4. I mentioned this once before, but I know you're probably wondering, what does land value matter? Well, this building is currently a level 1 building. It means there's only a certain number of amenities provided to it. And land value is probably pretty crap. Let's see. Yeah, pretty crap. We want it to be a thick green. Thick, dark green. In order for that to happen, we got to increase the land value. And there are a couple ways to do that. Providing services, which we have police station, we have fire station. Obviously, we can't put down a ton of these services everywhere. They're pretty expensive. And then, of course, it has its basic utilities. We could put down a school. We didn't put down a school yet. And I think we're actually going to do that. There's a high school even. Where should we put it? We'll put it right here, right in the center of everything. And that's actually going to level up some of these buildings around that, which will then increase the number of households that a building can take. Which means more people can live here without having to use the space. Now, although it did increase the land value a little bit, it's not a lot. And as you can see, a lot of these buildings are still level 1. So we're going to place down a nice little park. And I think a skating rink is the best kind of park. Put that down there. And now the land value of the areas will start to increase ever so slightly. Yikes. It's a good thing we didn't build here, because these homes would look terrible. Now, it may not be instant, but the land value is going to increase. See? Remember how it was a light blue? Or like it was kind of like that color over here a second ago? Now it's a really deep blue. These buildings, actually, I think this just got... Nope. Well, it just got built. But over time... Yeah, as you can see, there we go. That's what I was looking for. A little sliver, right? A little bit more. That just means it's a little bit... the area is worth a little bit more now to where this house is a little bit closer to leveling up. And again, the more households, the more people, the less the space you need. Now, we're almost up to 2,000 people, which is great. But we are looking for a certain achievement. This one, I think. Yep, this one. That allows us to place down high density. Once we can place down high density, we can make a very pretty looking town and grow it really quickly. So, as you can tell, we're at the mountain here. We're creating some issues here, so we need to expand elsewhere. What better way than towards the river? So, we're going to slow down time. In fact, we're actually going to pause time because we need to destroy these. Power lines. Now, we don't have a whole bunch of room, but we do have some. Not quite. There we go. And then we need water. I guess that doesn't have water, so we will drop that down a little bit. And then we'll come back with our power lines. Once again, just kind of lining the river. I know it's going to take away from that view. But right now, we're more so concerned with building a city that's functional. While also appeasing our OCD. So we have water under here. Power looks sufficient. We're going to need to upgrade our power at some point. In fact, we actually can just upgrade there. Water is nearing its spans. We're going to move it up to about 100% now. And then we're going to put in some more homes. Except up here, put a little mom and pop shop right there. And we press play. Actually, fast forward. As you can see, our water pump is very strong and has completely sucked the river dry. In fact, I actually think it reversed the river. Let me check that. Yeah, it has dried out the stream. Wow. This entire stream has been dried out from the single pipe. Nonetheless, it is still very sufficient. However, we do have some power problems, so we're going to go in our budget panel and we're going to over budget for our power, which will reduce the problems we're having, at least for temporary. I'm trying not to spend too much money because this next achievement is going to be very, very big. Because we unlock a heater, which is something that is new to the winter DLC. Yeah, the heat pipes. I'll show you when we get there how that works. But it is a pain. But as you can see, pollution has dropped dramatically because we no longer have pollution-creating factories. Which is great for business. Great for land value, great for everything. But we do have some demand for industrial, so we're just going to expand it a little bit. In fact, we can actually kind of create the backbone of our town off of farming. I should have done that before I zoned, didn't I? Now this is some nice landscape right here. We don't want to affect that. But it is almost at the point where we can begin looking to our next project of expansion. Now, building a interchange costs about 20 grand. Building a brand new area costs about 30 or 40 with all the utilities, and that's if you don't that's if you connect them to already existing services such as police, fire, water, electricity. And we're about to get 50 grand right here from, or well, maybe 25 from this next achievement, but we're going to have a lot of businesses shutting down if we don't do something about electricity, or about heat. So we are going to do what we can to manage both at the same time. Now, first thing you want to do is look for some flat terrain, because that's where you want to build a city. There's some way off there, we can't reach it quite yet. I'm thinking maybe we expand uphill. Not the flattest place in the world, but it's not terrible. Create for some nice views, and especially industries, we might be able to reach down there, which we will, and we could put industries off in the crater, or off, tuck them against the hill there, right next to a railroad even. I think that's actually what we're going to do. Now, first things first is reaching this achievement. Why do we have garbage issues? Our singular landfill, or our singular recycling plant is not doing anything. So we need to place down... we gotta place down one of these, don't we? At least they're not super expensive. But they're kind of stuck there if we want to move. So let's kind of look over here, see what land value looks like. Still holding, but we got some buildings that are nearing their upgrade as far as leveling, which is perfect. And we got some buildings in here which aren't in our zone, which has created some general factories, which is not what we want. So we're going to come in here and just extend that zone a little bit. Now, unfortunately, because they're already built, I don't want to undo them. And it looks like we're not going to get this achievement before... Yeah, we're not going to get this achievement. So we're going to go ahead and just purchase the tile. And we might need a loan. We might actually have to get a loan for this. Just because it's such an ambitious project. But I still think it's a very useful investment into our community. So let's go ahead and build our roadway. Now this road will... I don't know how I'm going to get it down. Maybe over there? Ooh, this is going to be too steep. And we going to be too broke. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get the $60,000 investment and pay off the other investments while we do so. That way we don't have two loans over our head. Yikes, this terrain is not pretty, is it? And then we're going to come down. Too steep. Yikes. Oh, it's manageable. It's possible. $40,000 to do that. That's... Oh my goodness. It's a worthy investment, okay? It's a valuable investment. Because otherwise, this town is going to look very trash. Maybe there was another way to do it. Don't do what I did and be stupid. Oh, it went underground. No wonder. Oh, well. It's necessary because we're going to have to come down here anyways, and because the highway doesn't come over here, we're going to have something. So this will be where our big city is established. It's just flat. It's right on the water. It's flat. There were ships over there. I mean, this is where you want to have your town. And once we get really big and famous, we'll have a bridge or a connector interstate come all the way around this mountain here, all the way around and connect back up over there. Maybe we have it go through the mountain and then connect over here. I don't know. We'll see. But whatever the case is, there's just not enough room to expand. We're yet again starting on top of a mountain. For whatever reason, the game thinks that we just need to start on top of mountains. So we're going to have to expand where we need to be. And that is over here. So with that extension built, the future of our town is paved. Literally. I'd rather do it now than later. So now we can really quickly just extend this over here. We're going to press pause because we're going to lose power to our water source. We're going to do that. And we're going to build more city services. Or, excuse me, more industrial areas. Now this time, we're going to welcome dirty industries. And yet again, we have no money. This is, you don't do this, but I'm an expert, so I can do it. Do as I say, not as I do. So we're gonna finish up this grid. Like that. Move this back so it's even. There we go. And gonna get some pathways for our pedestrians to walk to work, which will help reduce traffic. Make sure it is a priority road. Come here, fix this. Connect up the power to the rest of the city. We can destroy that as needed. Now we make sure it is zoned correctly. It didn't look good, so we're gonna redo it because I am a perfectionist and have very bad OCD. Nope. Very good. So now we can zone these, no problem whatsoever. They have water, we have power, not really, but we have power for now. So we can plop these down, which will help us make more money. Because the more tax money you make, the better. We're gonna put it on fast forward, meeting the demands of the stuff that we need. Except for residential. And that will come later. Because we don't want to expand quite yet. We want to kind of save up our money a little bit. As you can see, the loans took us from about $1,600 to very minimal. We are in a water issue because we've drained the stream. That's fantastic. We've drained the entire stream. So we need to do something to fix that quickly, and we're going to press pause, and I really don't know what we can do except move it up. Move it to like right here, yeah. And then we just connect it up. We can delete, or well, we can refund this little bit. And then we connect it up to power. And we're good to go. And it instantly dried the stream out again. I really don't know what to do in this scenario. Okay, we're gonna press pause again. We're gonna move it up again. This time we're gonna move it right where the water is coming out. That's the only thing I can think to do. I don't know what's going to happen when we need more demand, or when we need more water. We better be at the ocean by then. Might drain the ocean too. Okay, let's see how this goes. And we drained it at the source. Good God. Did that at least meet our demand? No. Wow. Unreal. It's connected, right? Yeah, it's connected. We can't keep... Why do you have power problems now? Oh, because we don't have enough power. We don't have enough people. Because we don't have enough buildings. Ugh. And here is where problems begin to arise. Around 2,000 people. You will start to see problems with your city. This is manageable, though. This is... Right? Has to be manageable. We've drained a stream. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna press pause. We're gonna delete this. Delete all this up here. And we're gonna use water towers. They're relatively cheap. They produce half as much as the drain, except they don't rely on anything except the groundwater. So we will not have to worry about streams being dried up. And it's way better for our environment. Because as you can see, we drained an entire stream. I've never seen that before. And we're about to get flooded even. Because there's... Oh my god, there's so much water. Everything is going to be A-okay. This bridge will not be flooded at all. It's like a tsunami coming down a freaking river stream. This bridge is about to get flooded. Oh, no, it held. That's crazy. It's just hilarious that that happened. Now, we do have a problem with power. And that is not good because we are already at our max on power. Oh, no, we're not. And that'll be sufficient to where we need it to be. Now, again, we don't have enough people, so people over here are complaining. But we are going to try to avoid that, try to avoid alleviating that until we have what we need. I also just realized there might not actually be any. Okay. We're going to dezone all this because I made the mistake of thinking that there are farms everywhere, and it's just not the case. So we're going to delete all those. That'll alleviate some of that, well, increase some of the industrial demand. But specifically, that will... give us places for our just general industries. When using an industry specialization, no problem, right? But you always got to have some general industries. Otherwise, your city will just fail, right? Because everybody here is going to be exporting, and these commercial businesses will have nobody to make them goods. So you have to have general industries in your town. Sometimes it's a relatively high amount too, so you always got to plan for where they're going to be. They're always going to pollute. They're always going to be bad for your land value and everything, so you got to be mindful of that. Yeah, this is a great spot. It's just the terrain getting to it is a little tough. A little. That is good. That creates more jobs. And we have power issues. Again, even though we didn't have power issues half a second ago with the same amount of space. At least I don't have money for it. It'll have to wait. So we're already at max budget. Wind power is cool and all. But it only does like 8 megawatts max. In a prime location, like up here. That's cool for maybe starting. But you're gonna need some kind of actual power plant in order for you to have a city that's worth anything. There we go. And now we have issues with lack of people. So we're gonna have to wait even longer, until we can place down homes because we don't have money for the roads. Well, we might achieve it with all these buildings being upgraded. Really quickly, let's just take a look at land value again. The darker the color, the better. And it looks like it's good along Main Street. Also along this park area here with the skating rink. It's actually attracting some tourists to our town, which is really cool. And as you can tell, right now I'm starting to feel the impact of both of these loans as we are starting to go a little bit negative. One thing I did forget to do, though, is mess with our taxes. You can go up to 11% without it affecting any happiness. Which I completely forgot about and will give us a ton more money, which I should have done from the beginning. As you can see, we're up to like nearly $3 grand a week. Oh, I did that so wrong, didn't I? that is very annoying to look at. No refund from that, unfortunately. It's considered a city project that turned out not to be good. And we hit the next achievement! Yay. Now we have to upgrade all of our water pipes. Really quickly, at least I can put some of these down. Oh, it's doing this stupid crap again. Oh, that's so frustrating. So what we need to do with this heating stuff is, first and foremost, we need to create either a boiler station or a geothermal heating plant. Just consider it like natural gas. You need to put down one of these two stations. They both produce a little bit of pollution. Geothermal only produces noise pollution, though. And then we need to upgrade all of these pipes to be able to fit our needs for heating, so that the entire city gets access to it. We could let it sit as it is, but we are struggling in the electricity department. So when it turns nighttime, the city's going to use electricity to generate heat, and that will kill electricity. Unfortunately, there's no way to turn it off because I bought the DLC and there's no way to undo it. So we're stuck with this, and we have to make it work. Forgot to zone those. One thing we do have access now is city transit, so buses and stuff, which will be good, just not quite yet. Well, actually, what we could do is put down a single. This is 30 grand, maybe not. We're gonna fast forward and see what happens. As you can see, as the temperature drops, the electricity usage will skyrocket, and we'll probably see it go up into maybe 150, maybe even more. Maybe it's not as bad as I was thinking it was. I guess if we're like this, then it'll be okay for now. What we need now is more homes, and we are starting to approach elevation. So with the approaching of elevation, there are two things we could do. We could just continue our grid across the highway, or across the river stream, or continue building up on top of the hill. Now, obviously, again, I don't want to build on elevation because it creates for some pretty nasty looking areas. So, I think I'm going to build a bridge across here. Now, building a bridge is a bit expensive, so I will try to be very careful with my budget here. Luckily, it's not too expensive. I hate how that's off-center. I just hate how that's off-center, but I don't have 3 grand to just play around with it, so we won't be messing with it. Whew. Now I'm gonna figure out my my grid, to figure out where to continue up again. Okay, so that's where it would be. So right there. Is there a dot or something for me? Yes, okay. So we're going 4 wide by 2, or yeah, by 6. So that is the grid continued, which we will just continue to replicate. That will create for some nasty looking stuff. We're going to avoid that. And now that we have this over here, we're going to do that. That'll end there. That'll end there. Now, because there's not going to be a lot of people that live on this side, traffic will not be the biggest of my concerns. Ooh, that looks terrible. And I'm not happy with that at all. We can turn that into a park. I think that's what we'll do. To increase land value and attract some people to live over here. And we can continue our grid. It's a little high, but we'll let it slide. And I don't want to overdo it quite yet. Fix that there and make it look very good. All I need over here now is power. And we need to make this road priority. Now, because it's at a bit of an angle, it's going to be difficult to make a decent looking area. But we'll make it work. In fact, we'll just make all this commercial. That works for me. And then we come down here because the grid looks normal now, and we can do this. Might be a little too close to the water. I think we just do that. Yeah, that's fine with me. So there's gonna be a bit of issue with power. Actually, no, there won't, because I just did that. Very good. Now there's a bunch of power over here for homes to go in, which will look all nice on this side of the river. That bridge does not look very nice, but okay. Yikes. That looks a little better. These buildings are level 2, that's cool. So, we can use this time to build a city park. Now we're going to build one from scratch using the Park Life DLC. We can make some pretty looking parks with that. First and foremost, we need a gate. Put it right here at the end of this avenue. Unlocks us all these other new options, which we will use putting down a plaza, maybe even a cafe right next to it, and another cafe, even a restroom. Come out this way, and we could put down an info booth. Now, why are we putting down 2 cafes in all these buildings? Well, we need to increase the entertainment level so that it can upgrade to the next level. When it upgrades to the next level, we unlock new assets, and we can even raise the price a little bit. We need some water. The next level of assets will give off some better entertainment value as well, increasing the land value even more. Now, we've got 60 grand. It's time to invest in our infrastructure a little bit. I'm thinking we go with the bus depot. We need it anyways. May as well just go ahead and get it now. Get it out of the way. I'm only going to do a few simple bus lines, right? So one from right here up to this street, right at the walkways. And back. We could do one on this side. Up to the walkway over here. And back. And one more from here to there. And back. Now, these 3 lines will do many different things, but primarily they will create for some routes so that people can go from the south side of the city to the north side and back. Because that is a bit of a walk, whereas it'd be quicker to drive, but if they have buses, might be less likely to drive. So this is bus line 1. We will make it east. We'll make this one west. Now you can name them whatever you like, color code them if you like. I'm just doing that just for my sake so that I know what I'm doing. 2 buses is plenty for that one. 2 buses is plenty for that one. 3 buses is too many. I'm going to drop it down to 2. When starting a bus line, you want to micromanage everything. Number of buses, number of people, distance, even the types of buses. If it's really popular, you may want to go with the higher capacity buses or more buses. Just remember, the more buses you have on the street, the more money it's going to cost and the less traffic you're going to save, because that's more cars on the road. So right now we're just kind of waiting on demand of some kind to pick up. And usually when there's no demand, it typically means that there's something going on. Whether it be people not want to move in. I don't honestly know. It means something though. And I'll know what it means when I'm not on camera. It's always like when you need to remember something you could never. Park is coming along really nicely. We've met our entertainment goal. Next step is to get to our visitor goal, which is 500. And a couple things we can do to improve that. Night tours. We're going to do a fine for fireworks. Just because I don't want to have to hear it. And we have power problems. Just what you want to see. Now, this is because we haven't quite installed our heating. And, well, we opted for a bus station instead. So now we have to live with these consequences and manage the electricity. We're over the area. Maybe we just put down a temporary wind turbine. Just to alleviate some of those power problems during the night. Until we get the goal we need for that boiler station. And what we can do as well is pay off... Never mind. I was going to say we could pay off that loan, but it's already gone. Remember when I put in this skating rink? Well, that's where the stream thinks it's at right now. Just to give you an idea as to how delayed it is. Probably about an hour. An hour of delays. been a minute. Let's check in on our bus lines, see how they're doing. 50 people are using them, which is great. 18, 19, 14. How are the stops looking? Not very populated, not very abandoned either, which is just what we want to see. We want to see about maybe the capacity of a single bus at a single stop at most. And if that happens on multiple stops, that's how you know you need more buses, or you need to split that line up into 2 different lines. Now what we could do is create a 4th line that goes from here to here to here, back and forth, to connect those 3 lines. But we don't have quite enough people yet to worry about that. So for now, what we'll do is we'll just kind of watch, see where the people go. If they disperse off into this area or this area, that means they're going here. It's the right spot. If they come down here to this bus line, then I know what we need. Looks like that's what they're doing. Half of them split off, though. This is the group right here. Looks like they're going to that bus lane. Okay, we need an additional bus line. So I have one from here. It goes up here. Let's not do that. Let's do... You could do it like right there. And have it come all the way down here again. This one has 4 buses. So the game will automatically populate how many buses it thinks you need, based on the demand it may have. We're going to drop that down to 3, though, not 4. And we'll see how popular it is in a little bit. I'm gonna put in some more industrial buildings. And we should have enough now for a boiler. That is a massive building, isn't it? Yikes. Here's what we're gonna do. Build a road up like that. And there we go. So now comes the most expensive part. You thought $55,000 was expensive. Now we gotta upgrade every single one of these pipes. Costs 10 grand to go from the top of the city to the bottom. Yikes. Well, we're gonna start in the lines that are most important. We're actually gonna create a line up here. And now they're connected, at least. You see, so when... I remember what I was going to say earlier. If you have a demand, like all demands are kind of sitting empty, typically that means that people are content and it's balanced. So in order to fix it, you need to unbalance it somehow. And as you can see, by adding in all these industrial areas now, they need people to work for them because it was perfectly balanced before, now it's not. So the demand for residential skyrockets. And when residential skyrockets, that means commercial will skyrocket as well. We'll worry about that later, though. Let's go down the line here. And we don't have enough money anymore. Upgrading one little piece costs about 500 to 800 bucks each time. Very expensive. Now, because we're making so much money, I think I don't want to take another loan. Not for this. So we're going to do this very slowly and painfully. We're going to go one piece at a time. You know what we can do to alleviate some of that residential demand? Zone all this residential right here, right along the river. Because we're not going to be able to do anything here anyways, except maybe a bridge, but that'll maybe destroy one home. This is such a painful process. But it seems to be the only way of doing this that I've found, at least, that doesn't destroy your city. Because if you have people complaining about heat, you will lose buildings. And if you just let it run off electricity, you will also lose buildings. And when you lose buildings, you lose tax income. So you've got to be you've got to do it. It's one of those things that's got to be done. I wish they'd give you enough to do all the pipes. As you can see, we've upgraded to level 2 for our park, which is cool. What's the problem here? No sewage? Wait, we got a sewage problem. Hang on. Oh yeah, they can't handle the capacity. So we'll just drop this down right about here. And that should meet that need. We have a garbage problem too. And we can't afford anything. Landfill is nearly full, and we haven't unlocked our perfect recycling center yet, so we need to do something about that fast. And we're starting to have some traffic back up here as well. So what I'm going to do is switch this to a traffic light. So that way everybody has a chance to go. Which seems to be working, but there is a big stack up. This could be very bad if we don't fix this soon, though. Are all these people going in town? Yeah. We're going to the other side. Okay. So we could create an access road that gives them access to over here. Maybe not. Okay. Very ugly, but it's functional. And that's all that matters, right? Got some problems. Oh, man. It's so difficult when you don't have high density. If you can make it to high density, you're good. You're golden. Alright, that's almost every house. And we have a lot of residential demand and very little space for it. Alright, that is everything. Alright, now let's work on this residential demand stat. So we need extension of the grid down here. Can't go there. I don't understand why you don't have... Oh, God. Because it only produces 80. Oh, man. This is... Alright. Build homes quick. No clue why I'm struggling this hard. Build some little cul-de-sacs down here, I think. Definitely would increase the land value down here. Or would have a high land value. I don't know why the temperature was -10 in the sun just a moment ago, but it was. We will glance over it. We need another one of those. We need a boiler station, really. And that costs 60. We don't have enough. We can't take a loan. So we're just gonna have to sit here and wait. While we do that, we can at least work on our park a little bit. And we unlock a chessboard and some things for some water, but unfortunately we don't have, well, water. That should be enough entertainment for level 2. It's not, so we need some more stuff. There's really no way to do it without it affecting the landscape, so we're just going to kind of leave it, honestly. Fixes that. Don't forget, too, we're racing against the clock before that fills up. Let's make sure you have some parks going for your people as well. I know I've said that about 1,000,000 times. Oops, wrong thing. As much as I would love to build residential, just not gonna work there. Still more demand for residential. Gah. These guys have waterfront access. And we'll make a nice little walking path for these people as well. Yeah, we built a nice little pedestrian bridge there. Don't really have much of a choice here, do I? That's unfortunate. It's a bit of a drop-off. But you see all these people walking right here. Maybe they'd walk up here to the bridge, but I mean, if they're going from like right here to right here, that's one hell of a walk. It'd be more likely that they would drive. So all these in my I'm saying all these right here are saved cars. Most of them are taking the bus lane. Maybe we should move that bus lane a little bit. Move it to like, move it to like right here. Yeah, they're all taking the bus. They're all probably going to see the park. And instead of hopping on the collector, instead of walking up there, they're walking down here. Very good. And we have enough money now for the boiler. We are rolling in money. I wasn't even paying attention. We have a good amount of money now, which is exactly what we need. Plenty of heat produced now, which means we can then implement this policy, which means no electricity for heat, which will save our electricity tenfold. Delete this. Now the city's looking really good. Looking like it's in a good position now. So, what we need to do is figure out how we're going to build up here. I'm thinking, honestly, maybe not yet. Let's kind of keep expanding over here as much as we can until we reach our goal of 7,000 people. I would love to expand down here, just don't have enough space yet. Not enough money for the space. And I could unlock this, sure. But I just don't think that's enough space, because we don't have access to there. Just don't think that's enough space. Actually, maybe it is. For industries, at least. It's a pretty steep elevation, though. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But first, we gotta start with meeting that residential demand. There's just a lot of people that want to move here. Oh, why is it doing that? I don't understand. Whatever. It's a good looking cul-de-sac right there. We'll put down a nice little mom and pop shop right here. Because this game is being stupid and not letting us put down stuff where we really want it to go. So we'll put down homes there. Fill it in here. And that's perfect. Now, sometimes building along the arteries or the primary roads just doesn't cut it. So you need to sometimes set up a designated entertainment area. I'm having trouble thinking about where I could put that, but if I can find a spot, I'll show you what I mean. When starting a city, if you don't know what you're doing, don't start on a mountain. Make sure you start in a flat open field with multiple highways that go across it. I don't know why sometimes this game is so stupid with making these weird looking maps. I mean, I love a map like this. It's gorgeous, right? It is just look at the gorgeous scenery. I love it. But to be completely honest with you, no one would want to start a city here. Hell, no one would even build a highway through this. Unless we're in Wyoming or something like that. they would find a way, because it goes up there, right? It goes up that way. They would find a way to go around this lake in a completely different area, completely different way. Hell, it may even be smarter for them to go through there, because it would cost them a lot less than it would for them to build over mountains and create multiple bridges. They could have saved themselves a bridge there. They probably, if they're going to build a bridge, maybe they could have done it there. I mean, just the idea of them creating all these... I'm sorry to rant, but this is just a stupid start. Just a stupid area. You've got flat land here. You've got a ton of flat land over there. You've got flat land down here. But you want me to start on top of the mountain? Hell, even in here would be a smarter move than starting over here. It just makes no sense. It just makes no sense. No sense whatsoever for anyone to start a city up here. That's enough for my rant. Just make sure, if you're going to start a city, you start a city on a flat plane. Otherwise, you're going to have a very tough time like I am right now. I mean, look at that. Look at the steepness. Look at this. There's like 3 bridges on this thing, right? 3 giant bridges on this entire thing, when they could have avoided all that and just went around and made 1 bridge cross there. That would have been tough. Maybe not. Maybe a bridge there. Well, if it's going up there, then what do they even need to go over here for? Go around this mountain. Why don't you just... I'd have seen what's over here, because it might have been smarter to just go around it that way. I mean, it's smart here, yes. But to build over this? This mountain, the peak of the mountain? The height of the mountain? Anyways, let us continue. I'm thinking to hell with it. Let's just build. Let's continue our grid uphill. If we can't get our population goal from over here. Very close to it, though. 5,000? I'm gonna be completely honest. You guys are never gonna see me play this build again. This thing's getting deleted. Unless I somehow turn it around and make it look really pretty. There's no way in hell I'm keeping this build. I mean, typically I grow my city until the terrain stops me. But I'm already stopped and I'm only at 4,700 people. If this was real life, the city officials would probably stop here. They'd probably be like, oh well, that's it. I mean, this interchange makes it very difficult because you have pretty much half to stay on this. I mean, that's some steep elevation there anyways. You had to build a $40,000 road to come out here just to end up down the mountain. Going through all this terrain. I mean, this would look gorgeous with some high density, but definitely not low density. If this highway wasn't here, I could build over there. Or this interchange was different. As you can see, this intersection right here sucks. It is a very bad intersection because you have 2 arterials as soon as you exit the highway. Now, if I had the money and time and care, I would create another highway exit right here. That way you can have direct access to over here. How did I know that? I'm just looking at where the people are going, right? You can use this tool. It's a great tool. You just can kind of tell, you know, people are turning left, they're turning right, they're going straight, right? Well, you can't really build a highway exit right here because there's one right there. And you can't really build a highway exit into here because, well, this is the most direct route. But over here, I mean, look at all these cars, all those cars. You could build a highway exit here, have it direct access into, I don't know, upgrade William Street right here, and have it T-bone into that artery there. Just think of what this traffic would look like if we didn't have bus lines right now. I mean, it would create for some very terrible routes. Very terrible traffic. This is so difficult because we have like too much demand and nowhere to expand to. Maybe I should call it on the city, honestly. Actually, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call it on the city because that's just incredibly difficult. I'm not calling it for the stream. I'm just calling it for that city. So really quickly, we're going to pull up our technical difficulty screen again. And we're going to load up the city that I wanted to replicate but couldn't because of terrible maps. The city I just kind of spent a couple hours on and got it up to, I think, 20,000, 25,000. It's also a winter theme, and the bus route on it, man, I'm so proud of the bus routes that I created on there. It just creates for some beautiful infrastructure that you just can't imagine. You'll just have to see it to believe it. All right. As we load back in, just a little backstory, in case you missed it up until this point. City I was building was going great. Taught you some great things about how to start, but we kind of stalled out because the terrain pretty much got in the way. For some reason, the map starts on top of a mountain, and there's a little flat bit at the top of the mountain for whatever reason, and then it's cliffs all the way around, steep cliffs. So, pretty much called it at 5,000 people, just shy of it. Now we're going to go to a city that isn't limited by terrain that already exists, that I built with a similar setup, built the other day with 24,000, to show you some more problems you may encounter. What I was doing and all the issues I was encountering with the 5,000 population will repeat until you reach about 20,000. So just some tips in case you missed all of it. Basically, keep your traffic as small as possible, creating as many pedestrian paths, as many bus lanes, as many whatever you can to alleviate traffic. Set up as many highway exits and interchanges as possible. That way you can have multiple entrances and exits for populations and people to drive in and out. And then make sure that you don't spend all your money at once. Don't have multiple loans open at once, and don't be stupid with your money. And use dirt roads when you start. There we go. So, as you can see, this is what happens when you're not limited by terrain. You could just create for some very beautiful areas. Now, there was a lot more resources, so we decided to create the Chester mineral industry, as well as, for some reason the name ain't showing up. What is that name? What in the world is happening here? Cherry Forestry Park. That's the word that we should be looking for. I don't know what the hell that is. There's also a general industries area over here. And as we grow and expand, this will turn into a transport hub for rail and monorail and buses. Now the backstory of this town, here's where it started. This little exit right here just kind of continued the grid as I showed you already. And then when we reached about right here, we started developing, or we first got access to high density. So we just decided to expand up here with high density, and then the rest of the area with low density, just to make sure that there's not a steep terrain or a steep height difference. Now you'll notice right here, there are some weird looking interchanges. You have one that just completely goes around. There's actually 3 roads right here, not 2. And then there's another one right here. This is a bus line, a designated bus lane. And it starts right here at this bus line. Now, this bus hub is probably one of my favorite things I've ever accomplished in City Skylines. This is the intercity bus line. So all the lines in here, we have orange, green, and baby blue. So we will show you how it's set up. So the white line pretty much goes only to the stadiums. That's it. Where'd it go? Green line specifically goes to the forestry area up here and then drops off and comes back. There's actually a second line up here that takes you from the south side to the north side. Although it doesn't do very well, might just delete that. There's a third line, the blue line, and that is our connector from all the other lines. And then there is a orange line that takes you from there all the way to another collector up here. An orange then takes you to navy blue, which takes you up here to the general, or to light green, which takes you down here to the forestry area. Now the lines up here that don't have the colors that I just mentioned, they are simply lines that take you from up here, anywhere up here. They take you to this station down here, so that you can hop lines and come over here, or you can take the red line. Pretty much, and as long as you live over here, you'll hop on one of those 3 lines, the red, pink, or cyan. It'll take you to this central station, which then you hop onto the blue line, which takes you to this one, which you can then use to either go out of town or walk up here to the neon line, which will then take you up here to another central station. And this central station is split up amongst the high density, as well as the office area, as well as a little bit of low density. So we have the pink one down here. We have the red line goes up here, a black line, and then of course the neon line that is the connector. A lot went into this bus line. And if you don't have a bus line as in depth as this, do not worry, do not fear. It will not get that depth. It sometimes doesn't, but because I was just kind of trialing and erroring, I never was able to get a nice looking bus lane down. I decided to say screw it and then heavily invest into a bus line. So how it works is a bus will come into the station, and then if it is a intra-city, they will just make a quick right and go onto the highway up here. There are no bus lines that go up here, so you only need 1 lane to get to the highway, and that is up here. And then if you're coming in, you just simply take that en route. When you come in, make a straight, not a left, not a right, make a straight, following the bus lines all the way up around until you're able to get into the entrance again. There are a lot of sirens. That was loud. And as you can see, it is very well utilized by our population. Every single bus line, it gives you a little line detail option. It gives you a percentage of trips saved, 11%. That's not very accurate, because that is just for that specific line taking you from there to there, right? So 11% of every single person going from there to there were going to take a car, and it prevented that because there was a line to it, which is a lot because this line is very well used. Let me see. 280 people. 280 divided by 11. That's about 30 cars that would be on the street just going from there to there. 30, which is a lot when you come to think about it, because there's probably not even 30 cars on this road right now, the specific road. So that's a lot of cars, right? And then to top it off, it's 280 people going between station to station. All these lines have numbers like that, very similar numbers. And that's not counting the trip it took from here to here. It probably saved another 50% from here to here. And then not even from there to there, because then they're going over here, over here, over here, over here, wherever they're going, saves them even more. So a very intricate bus line it is indeed, but it creates a very nice aesthetic as it is a designated bus lane that goes off directly to the highway, right from the middle of town. It looks really cool to see when they go out and in like that. It's just really cool to see. You also have your connecting line right here that people take to go out and in. Now these buses are a lot higher capacity. They carry 80 people, which is a lot, and they're most of the time full. As you can see, they are completely full. This is a very, very busy bus station, and there are 3 of them in this town. Now, this is just for the city that we have built here. If we were to build even more, say we were to go down here and build even more, more homes, more houses, more residential, more whatever, we would need a brand new bus line, a completely separate one, and we wouldn't connect them from one station to the other. No, they would go up here, and they would take this train, and they would have a much higher capacity transit. Obviously, buses can only handle so many, 80 people at a time. That's the max. Trains can handle, I don't remember how many they can handle, but they can handle a lot. Let's see here. I guess we can't see, but trains can handle a lot more people than a bus can. I think the number is like 120, somewhere around there, maybe even more. So, yeah, trains are way better at intra-city, it's called. It takes you from one little town to the other. So, always keep that in mind. You set up your bus lane to be a collection of people to go to a different and bigger transit line. And then from there, they go to an even bigger transit line. And then bigger and bigger until eventually they're either on a plane, on a boat, or at their destination. Now, bus lines are great, again. However, for a stadium like this that gathers maybe 500 people, it has its limits. So if there's a large stadium or something like that that takes people from place A to place B, you better make sure that you have a designated system. Otherwise, you're going to have a bunch of traffic. Welcome back, Dami. Now, Timber Hills is in a very prime spot for where developers need to go. Right, we want to extend our. We have demand for housing. We want to continue to grow up here, but Timber Hills is in the way. And smart thing to do would be to just completely wipe it off the map. However, there are a lot of jobs that are in this area, and we don't quite have the capacity to shut them off. That's why this area was built. This started out as just an exit for the industrial steel plant that generates a lot of money, but it kind of grew a lot of it into what it is now, which is a industrial hub. But as you can see, people are having issues with getting workers because there are, 1, no bus lines over here, and 2, there are just not a lot of people here. So I think if we just continue to grow this just a little bit more, we will have more jobs than we have demand for, which would mean we would be able to delete Timber Hills and grow it even more. Or grow the residential to where we want it to go. And here we observe why roundabouts are not good. It works just as effectively as any other intersection does. To be completely honest with you, it's nothing special. Roundabouts are not the answer to all your problems. I'm not a fan of roundabouts. I don't typically build roundabouts, but I built one there just because there was some of these general industries were up here. So And that is one thing I wasn't able to showcase in the other map is moving your industries as you grow, right? Obviously, you don't want industries on top of your people, but we only start in one small grid. So when we first started, the industries were over here. Well, they're not there anymore. You can't even tell they were there just because of the grids, setups, and the growth since then. Over time, I moved them, and 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 moved them. So just be mindful of where you want to place your industrial zones in the future, as well as where you want to place them when you start, because placing them in the wrong spot to start with could be bad. Now, one thing you also want to keep in mind is spacing out your intersections. You never want to have, or your interchanges. You never want to have a bunch of interchanges all at once. I would love for nothing more than to be able to put an interchange right here, and develop this zone into residential. Unfortunately, there's just not enough space. One, I'd be eating into my areas here, but two, 3 interchanges in this little stretch right here would be disastrous. So what we need to do is redevelop this. This right here is just kind of our city service hub. It has, you know, landfill sites, boiler stations, police stations, power plants. This whole area just needs to be repurposed into residential. And with the roundabout already set up here, it's great, but this intersection is already struggling to handle the amount of traffic it takes as it is. So, there's a couple things we could do. First is just coming over here to our intersections tab and just seeing what's available. The best one I've seen so far is the single trumpet. Now, unfortunately, if we want to expand down here, that's not going to work, because this is what it looks like. Where's it at? This is what it looks like. And as you could tell, there's, well, nowhere over here. We could do a cloverleaf, but cloverleaves are good up into a certain point. Not to mention they take up a very large space. I'll show you. That's a lot of space. A double trumpet works great until you have a lot of traffic. They do have their limitations. A typical interchange, a simple highway interchange, is exactly what we have here, just not as pretty. But the roundabout is different because that means nobody right here is able to turn left, which reduces traffic on this little intersection here, but not up here. And it definitely can create some problems. It is not the best interchange there is. So, and no, roundabouts are not the answer. The reason why this roundabout sucks is because when you add your 2 off lanes to it, you have 6 intersections in a single roundabout. It sucks. It sucks. The only thing we're left to do is creating a diverging diamond. What does that look like? That's up here. A diverging diamond. And as you can see, it's not the best in the world. Plus, it's also really glitched as to how you make it. There's like 7 different roads in this one little picture right here. You got a road there, 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 road there. And then these 2 are roads. And then it's the exact same on the other side. Tough scenario. This is the stock one, but it creates for a pretty little entrance, as you can see. Nice little snow up there. That's actually a river. I think we're going to continue to develop this area just a little bit more. Eventually we'll expand up here. Get some forestry. We might even relocate. Actually, can we? No, we can't. I would love to just purchase this tile and then create forestry up there. Basically just move the forestry, but just not able to. Because we need 5,000 more people to live in our town before we can do that. Sometimes we run out of ore to mine, so we gotta move these. Not the flattest terrain right here, but I'm thinking we might be able to just put in some high-density buildings over here, actually. Maybe not. We can right here. Kind of eaten into the mountain there. That's not ideal, but we can kind of smoothen it out a little bit. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we'll just destroy the building and just not even let it be zoned. That's much better. We'll put in a little path right here. I forgot to zone this little area. I want to zone it so that I can put the high-rise restriction on it. I don't want any skyscrapers coming out of this area. Keep Phillips Street and that park. Where do you see Trevor Phillips? I think that did nothing. The street name was Phillips Street. Where is that at? Where's that at? I gotta find that now. Oh, the lights are shutting off. I can't read. Why is every street up here named Robin Street? Why does this... What is this street name? What is the street? Why does the street think it starts all the way up there? That is one wild street. Absolutely not. Jesus, what? That is not all one street. That's outrageous. Left corner. We'll check it out. Had to have been up here, right? Oh, yes, here we go. Phillips Street. We're gonna rename this to Trevor Phillips Street. Perfect. Let's check up on our land values, see how the values of these places are. Obviously, around our pedestrian areas, the land value is the highest. It seems like land value is pretty low down here, even though it shouldn't be. This is one of the first areas we started to develop, so let's fix that and put in a park. We'll actually put in like an ice sculpture area. Trying to displace as few homes as possible doing so. That should really improve the land value in this area. Yep. There goes that level up sound that we're looking for. These are being upgraded to level 3. Should carry some more households now. Yep, and as you can see, the area is getting a little bit brighter green over here. So let's figure out how we can fix this. I think what I'm going to do is just look up a real-life interchange. Actually, I saw this interchange a couple days ago, and I'm gonna try it. We're gonna press pause right here. We're gonna completely delete this entire interchange. We're gonna try it. Looks like we need 2-lane. Okay. That doesn't look great. We're gonna fix that. That looks better. And then on this side, we're going to do the exact same in a little bit of a different area. I'm going to move this first. Move it over here. Where can I put it? Try not to displace too many places like that. Let's move this. We can move it right here. Why not? We just got to move all these city services. This police office, police station doesn't really do too much. We could move it over here, because there's not one over here. This fire station also doesn't do too much. We could probably move it up here. I've been lacking at my fire safety, I guess. Shoot. We'll check it. We'll eminent domain the IHOP. Is it IHOP? Yeah, it's IHOP. Sorry, IHOP. And then this is a coal power plant. We'll put that right up here. No, we'll put it down here. There was another coal plant, wasn't there? Nope. Inland treatment site. We will put right here. We'll put the other one side by side. And as you can see, when it comes to terrain, sometimes it's not always the greatest look. So you gotta make sure you develop your town on flat terrain. Always. Just look how stupid that looks. Now luckily, it's minor, there are things we can do, but Sometimes there's just nothing. That works a lot better. Now, because the landfill is 75% full, there's nothing I can do as far as removing that. So I'll probably cheat and just get rid of it. And then the city recycling center right here. See, I can't really relocate it because it's got stuff in it. But what I can do is use Move It mod and cheat my way to do whatever I want with this building. What I want is for it to be destroyed, but unfortunately that's not possible, so we'll just do that. And then last but certainly not least, we will begin building our interchange for down here. Now this single interchange will be the only interchange that this entire area gets until maybe like down further this way. So we need to be very careful with how we do it. But we also need to create a bridge somewhere, which is kind of the whole point of this interchange, is it goes up one way and it comes down another way. This also creates a bit of a problem too, because people from over here can't turn left without this bridge. So what we will do this interchange actually isn't that great of an idea. Let me look up some interchange ideas. And no, we're not doing some stupid thing like Spaghetti Junction. We could do a partial cloverleaf. Given the space, though, I'm not sure that would turn out great, but we could try it. Oh, it didn't. Really isn't a great example out there, is there? There we go. So we're gonna have to move this interchange up a little bit. It is okay. This is in our best interest. And we're also going to move this up a little bit as well. Just trust me on that. We can get more space for our residential and move everything back a little bit. So, how it works is simple. Kinda. We need a bridge. It's one hell of a bridge. Now we need our highway ramp tool. We need to come up here. This is very difficult to create while making it look nice at the same time. We also need to extend this a little bit. I can see how some people prefer City Skylines 2. Oh man, this is gonna take up a lot of space if I do it like that. And then we do this like that. We will fix that and make it look a lot prettier at a later point. We'll upgrade this to 2. Upgrade this to 2. That looks hideous. Let's fix it. There's only so much you can do, and you know, I'm watching these City Skylines 2 videos, and I'm like, man, they could do so much more than you can in the original. But I mean, this game came out in like 2013. Completely different era, completely different mechanics, completely different demand for the game, demand out of it. Everything is just so much different now. Technology that's out, people that play. Because like now you have like actual city planners that play this game. Whereas it used to be just, you know, kids like me playing city builders because it's fun. Not saying it's a bad thing, it's just a completely different industry now that the developers at Colossal need to cater to. I kind of did that bad. Oh, that's difficult. Well, shoot. Kind of need the bridge to exist to make a bridge.
That looks a lot better. And we'll do the same over here. Kind of redo this. Because it takes up a lot of land the way I was doing it. Yeah, it may look a little pretty, but... what's more important, pretty or function? Now we make this look all right. There we go. That looks way better. Way tighter, way smoother, way cleaner of a transition. That's way better. Not sure why it's doing that. It's a little annoying in my opinion. We're gonna fix that. Why is it doing that? That works. Why is it doing that? Yeah, you can clearly tell that Skylines has some limitations compared to 2. That looks good. No need for lights there either. looks good. Now, yeah, it looks really stupid. And I'm just now realizing that I did it backwards. You're supposed to have these roads come off the side. No, I didn't. Why does it look so stupid? It's just not a good circle, that's why. It goes up way too far and then it comes back down. But those are the limitations that I have to deal with City Skylines. Like, this could probably be a little bit more arched. Probably bring that down. I could probably bring them down a little bit, actually. That looks a lot better, actually. You know why it looks stupid? Because I have to branch off of this road in City Skylines 2. You don't need to do that. You could just have, you know, a lane come directly off. But, you know, this game has its limitations, so there's only so much I can do. The more and more I think about this, the more and more I want to get Skylines 2 now, because the lane management and the like depth that you can go into on that game is just puts this game to shame. Even though I have so many DLCs on this game that I bought. We'll see how it goes. But may not be beautiful, but it's functional. That's what matters, right? Functionality. So, how it works is, well, quite simple. You want to come off the exit, coming from this way, well, you make the right turn, and you take a little roundabout. Come off the exit, coming from this way, a little roundabout. Loop-de-loop. There you go. So you want to get on? Well, you just make a left or right here, and then left or right here. Good thing about this is left turn is now over here and over here. They're a lot farther apart. So if you need to come from here and make a left over here, well, everybody here is making a right. You already passed the left turn part. So nobody's making two left turns on each other, unless they're very heavily populated from right here. One thing I am noticing is that nobody's able to... Oh, I guess I need to correct the lane directions. Whoops. Double whoops. Oh, that's right. This should be a, like that. There we go. Yeah. Forgot about that. Now we're going to come in here and make the intersection look a little prettier. With our handy tool, we can come in here and designate lines. And we can even use stripes. So it looks way better. We'll do the same over here. And then, oops, wrong button. Stripes. And then over here, we will do the same thing. Do the same on this side. And then underneath here. Just creating the dotted lines for people to go straight. And if they want to turn, they are welcome to. Now for up here. This is for those who are turning left. Those turning left. That's really all we need to do, really. Those turning left, and those turning left. Oh, I made a mistake here, didn't I? Yep. Like that, perfect. Now the white dashes are on their left side as they make their turn. And the lines on the highway are still drawn. And we did all that without affecting our bus line. Very good. Now, it's not very straight of a line. Yikes. Of a road, I mean. So what we could do is just turn it the correct direction. Whoops. Anarchy was on, wasn't it? Crap. that gives us the chance to redo this bus line. Well, not redo it, but redo where it draws. That looks very good, in my opinion. This does not. Why does it keep doing that? What is wrong with this game? That is not what I meant to do at all. Oh man. There we go. Misclick of the century right there. Even still. I'm getting very frustrated with this game. probably going to get rid of that. Save space. And now we cut this area off, so we need to reconnect it. Connect it over here. This will be a very temporary road, but it will work, at least for what we need it for. Bus line will still be there, though. Now, what are these power lines connecting to? No need for them, to be completely honest. And now we can connect our power from here to there. Probably do further down here. Perfect. So, all we had to do was pretty much remove a roundabout and redraw this road. It was just an expensive project, just because it would have cost a lot for pavements and stuff, but it wasn't really that much of an expensive project, and let's see how it flows. And you'll see a lot of trucks coming up here and then immediately making a left back onto the highway. That is just because a lot of the trucks were up here expecting there to be a connection right here. Now we got issues with power and water and fire and what? Why? Not enough heating available. Why is that? Oh, right, I didn't reconnect this, did I? Yeah, I did. Oh, we got a problem with the sewage, that's right. I didn't reconnect them. And you are missing a connection here. You're connected. You're connected. Everything's connected now. That should work. That'll resolve the heat problem because the heat now has sewage connection. Good. As you can see, this is functioning very well. I'm very happy with how this is functioning. We've even created a little bit more space for our area over here. People are sick. Uh-oh. This is very good. Very functional. Very effective. And our bus line is now really popular again because what used to happen is people would just, well, drive to work, but now that that connection is over a mile away, they no longer have that ability. And we have a problem with heating again. Good news is this little park over here is struggling because there is not enough people working for them. Let's see how many jobs are over here. Well, how many jobs are available at least. Okay. There's about 800 vacancies in jobs, 700 vacancies. Shutting down of this 2,200 people place would be very bad. To be honest, our bus line might not be very effective anymore, because we need to make this the primary work area instead of over here. Yeah. So what we need to do is pause time and dezone some of these areas. Some of those are really historical. Been here since the city was founded. But we need the space. Jobs dropped down to 1,700. Yikes. 16. All these people are going to work over here. We need to create a designated bus line. Could have it branch off from right there and come down here. Well, hopefully you guys learned a few things. Wasn't very educational video, just more so me playing City Skylines and saying I'm helping you. I tried with that first one, but man, it was just a pain in the rear to build on top of a mountain, so had to switch over. Hopefully you learned something. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow doing iRacing, and then after that we'll be playing a 5M, brand new server.